All right. So taking uncomfortable action. So important that we understand that. Eileen Wilder says it best. Procrastination will be the assassination of your destiny, your business, your relationships, your health, your wealth, your anything. When we procrastinate, we put things off because it's more comfortable to go do something else, that instant like dopamine hit, right? So going and scrolling online on social media, going landing on your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend's page and spending 45 minutes being a consumer of social media rather than a producer, which by the way, that's different video, but it's so important to be aware of if you're a producer or a consumer of social media when you're going on it. Is it building your wealth? Is it making you more money? Is it spreading a good message? Is it making massive value and impact on somebody? Or are you just consuming other people's content and all it's doing is putting you further in the hole and making you feel more broke than when you got on in the first place? So let's talk about one of the fastest ways to build generational wealth and take your earned income and protect that earned income and grow it as an asset, grow your assets, build that generational wealth. I'll tell you right now, it's through homeownership. This is no joke. So yes, maybe you got lucky on Bitcoin. Maybe you're Elon Musk and you have all the money in the world and you don't care to own a house. I think I watched something, I think it was on Joe Rogan and on with his podcast. And he said that he was selling all his houses. He was just going to rent. Most of us are not Elon Musk, right? So if you are the regular old person like me, you need to know the power of buying real estate. So let me give you an example. There are people right now that are stuck in the rent cycle. So let's talk about first-time home buyers for a second. And if that's you, people stuck in the rent cycle and they say, I know I need to buy a house, but I hear interest rates are high, or I thought that I have to have 20% down, or I'm working on my credit, or I'm trying to save money for closing costs, or trying to save money for a down payment. That's a procrastination habit that you're having. There's down payment assistance programs. I can do rapid rescores and help you with your credit score. I can help you get your parents to give you gift funds. Your parents, if you're a first-time home buyer and you are stuck in the rent cycle and your parents have a 2-something, 3-something percent, and they know that you're stuck and they don't know how to help you, they can give you gift funds from the equity that they have in their house on a second mortgage or from their IRA or whatever it is to make you have you put down a larger down payment so you're actually able to make your house affordable. Like I said, don't waste your time trying to save money right now, because as you're trying to save 5K, 10K, the house that you're looking at is going up 20, 30, 40, 50,000. Down payment assistance programs, specifically, I am in California and licensed in Nevada. Huge, absolutely huge for down payment assistance. Now, making it affordable, there's temporary buy down products. There's, like I said, gift funds from relative if you're not going the down payment assistance route, but asking the questions. And here's another thing, go towards a lender first. If you're going on Zillow and you're looking for your dream home while you're scrolling at night, drinking wine or whatever, like I used to do, and you're thinking, oh, I need to call a real estate agent first, you're dead wrong. I come up with a plan to help you get the money, to help you get your credit score in line, to know your numbers, to know where are you conditionally approved? Do you have a 2-year work history? What is that payment going to look like? Is property and taxes and insurance going to have to be included? Are you going to pay that separately? Do you get bonuses every 6 months where you want to keep that mortgage payment separate from your property taxes and insurance because you're going to pay that when you get bonused out every December or every October or spring or whatever it may be? These are the questions that you have to go through with me first. Then I set you up with a real estate agent that's an expert in your price point in your neighborhood. So if you've ever noticed when you're going on and you're looking at properties on Zillow or you're driving around, you always see that same real estate agent face all the time. It's important to know that that's because they're an expert. That's their niche market in that area. That's where they've put their footprint down, and everybody knows them as being the expert. So Paul from Canyon Crest, for example, he's everywhere. He's the go-to to list properties, but he may not be an expert in Sacramento area. So once you find out your price point and narrow down that neighborhood, then you look at me setting up with an expert real estate agent in your market so they can help you put your best foot forward. And we co-collab together and we put a strong offer for you forward. So that's first time home buyers. Now, if you're a parent and you're like, gosh, my kid is just like struggling in this rent cycle, but I don't know how to make it affordable, you can give them gift funds from your property. We have, at my mortgage company, we have fixed interest rates that are 30-year fixed on a second. You can pull out that, give that money to them. You can structure it however you like to make sure that becomes affordable. We can buy down the interest rate. Buying down the interest rate is more important to use with that 10 grand, 15 grand than putting it down on a mortgage. Because if you think about it, having a loan amount of 600,000 versus 590 spread out over 30 years, because you gave them that extra 10,000, that's not as valuable as them doing like a down payment assistance or a FHA loan with 3.5% down, using the rest of that money to buy down the interest rate. So down payment assistance loans, going back to that, I don't want to confuse you. Lots of those are kind of like a fixed rate that the state just offers for a down payment assistance program. However, FHA, if you put down 3.5%, you can actually buy down the interest rate with the rest of the money that you were going to give your child to have them put more down payment down. Now remember, you marry the house, date the rate. Pick your poison right now. You either help your child, or you, if you're the first time home buyer, you do it now where maybe interest rates are a little higher, but when this market shifts, which history shows that it's going to shift, and all the experts say that our future is going to be very, very bright in terms of interest rates in the next, like 9 months now. They said June or July of 2024. So you refinance then. If you buy a house now and you find ways to make it affordable, you refinance in the summer of next year. Most of the loans that I do, at least, don't have prepayment penalties, so you don't have to worry about that. But the important thing is, don't procrastinate. Ask the hard questions. Take uncomfortable action. One of my students, because I'm a mortgage lending coach as well, one of my students said, Tiff, I woke up at 4 a.m. and I'm sending you this text message because something you said about me taking uncomfortable action stuck with me. She was more comfortable not doing videos, not spreading message, not making impact in her community, not showing up, doing lives like this and educating the community. She was more comfortable having no loans in the pipeline, not educating, not being that community market leader, that authority in her community that's helping educate and inspire people to build generational wealth through home ownership, right? So she said, I was more comfortable doing that than getting uncomfortable spreading my message one to many, right, to thousands of people. That she had like 2,500 followers on her Facebook, and nobody knew she was a mortgage lender because she was afraid to actually step up, step into her power as an awesome, she's a kick butt, awesome real lender, but she was too afraid to, she was playing small, basically, right? So we kill ourselves sometimes with playing small, thinking small, procrastinating, not wanting to take uncomfortable action. The actual quote, I'll just read it again. Without a compelling reason to choose otherwise, most people will take comfortable actions or no action at all versus over uncomfortable ones. So I really encourage you to ask the hard questions, take a deep dive, and look at buying a house as an investment. It is not a liability, right? It may be on paper, the mortgage payment shows up on your credit report and it goes against your debt to income ratios, which that's a whole other video right there. But that doesn't matter. When you look at it as an investment, remember, thoughts are things. So if we look at it as an investment, you're going to build generational wealth. You're going to increase. I used, when I was getting a divorce, I used one of my IRAs, one of my smaller ones. I liquidated that and I took the tax hit, and I didn't care because I know the power in buying real estate. So the dust didn't settle yet with my ex-husband at the time. He was still staying in the house. We hadn't refinanced, where I got half the equity and all that stuff that ended up happening. I took uncomfortable action. I liquidated my IRA for $48,000 and put it as additional down payment because I had to put like $35,000 down on this home because I was on other loans still. I was on 2 other properties that my husband and I had together. So I took uncomfortable action. I talk fast. Sorry, it's just in my nature. But I want to give you the content fast, right? To save you collapse time, save you time. So I took uncomfortable action, and I went in and I paid the tax hit, bought the house. Guess what? It doubled in value. I bought it for $1.5 million, and it's worth almost $3 million now, right? So do you think I care about that $48,000 little IRA? No, because I built $1.5 million plus. I have a fixed rate. I bought it at an awesome time. I have a 2-something%, 2.875 to be exact, and it's full principal to interest, and I pay it down every single month, and I'm paying my mortgage down, not my landlord's, right? So trust me, investment versus liability is something really that you've got to go in hard and assess. So one more thing I'll say about that before I end this video. One of my clients was going to be my future client. I ended up helping them. She had said, Tiff, I'm so afraid that what if I take on too much responsibility and I lose my job and I own this house? And I said, what if you lose your job and you're renting, right? It's more of that's a liability. If you own your home and God forbid you lose your house, let's just go with that worst case scenario, which by the way, worst case scenario, 99.9% of the time doesn't happen. So always write down your worst case scenario and just know that it is such a slim chance that that is going to actually happen. So let's say you do lose your job and you buy a house. You can actually rent out that property, your 3-bedroom, 2-bath, whatever it is, have somebody else that can afford the payment. Go rent that out to somebody. You sign a 1-year lease just in case, you know that you're going to be able to go find a job and go back to the house in a year. Go rent a 1-bedroom apartment. I don't care if you have 3 kids, 5 kids, get uncomfortable, just that's what builds wealth. People don't get rich by being comfortable. You have to take uncomfortable action. So you go rent out a 1-bedroom, give it to your kids, you sleep on the couch for a while, for a year, go get a job, and guess what? Somebody else is paying down your mortgage on that home that you own. You're uncomfortable, excuse me, in the short term because you're renting a 1-bedroom condo. There's not enough space, but guess what? You still own a home. Somebody else is providing you with the tax write-off still. Any future appreciation is yours still. Somebody else is paying down that debt. And yeah, you're a little uncomfortable right now, but know this. Know that you still own a home. If you rent and you lose your job, where are you going to go? Go stay with friends? Go couch surf somewhere? You can't rent out that space and sublease it without jumping through a ton of hoops and being more of a professional at something like that, at subleasing, right? So let me look at my notes here and make sure that that I'm covering everything, because this is so important to know what's going on in the market, how to help your child. If you're a first-time home buyer and you're 25 years old, I bought my first house when I was, I think, 22 or 23, my first condo. I pulled out equity. I bought another property, pulled out equity, bought another property, and I kept going. And now I'm in this beautiful house that is $3 million. And that's not a brag. That's to show you what's possible when you say yes to yourself, when you think bigger, right? When you imagine your future self being a real estate investor and you take that uncomfortable action. So I hope that helped today. I hope that helped you see what's possible for yourself. And all you have to do is ask. Ask a lender like myself. Book a call. My calendar link is in here in this description. Book a call. Ask the tough questions. No shame, no blame, just gain. I love that saying. So if you haven't done it yet, if you're 50 years old and you've never bought a house, it doesn't matter. If your credit score is 6-something, on the lower end, 5-something, ask the hard questions. Come up with a plan, and then we visualize your roadmap and we take uncomfortable action to get you to your goals. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.